Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Yahawah, Alahayah, Yahawah, Bapur, Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahawah, Alahayah, Yahawah, Bapur, Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahawah, Alahayah, Yahawah, Bapur, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahashem, QADASH, HALALYAM, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, QADASH.
Double honors to our apostles and elders and bishops of GMS. Much due respect to the sincere Aki of our labor and work. And Shalom. To you believers, to the Aki of our Aqua, to be brothers and sisters, who subscribe to this truth. As always, THAWADAH,
YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI,
for the QADASH, the Holy Spirit. Lord willing, blessings edifying, straight to the point. All right. So, we got 2 articles and 3 clips. All right. To prove, that, our power, right? He does all these things. He does everything. Okay. Everything that's going on planet Earth, everything that's going on in everyone's lives, our power, everything is in the hands of our power. Right? He does everything. All right. So, get an article. So the first one. This. Click on your
woman shot in the head, killed while pushing baby stroller in New York City.
All right, and this goes a little more into it.
20-year-old woman died after being shot in the head while pushing her 3-month-old in a stroller in Manhattan, Upper East Side, Wednesday night. The toddler wasn't injured. New York City Police Commissioner Keaton said in a news conference that the victim was pushing the stroller when a man approached her from behind and fired a single shot into her head from a very close range, then fled.
So this man literally approached this woman up close and personal in the back of her dome while she was pushing her 3-month-old child and just pulled the trigger and then fled. All right, that's a time we are coming into, a time where the love of men is going to wax colder and colder and colder as time goes on, and these men that's going to have that spirit of vengeance on them, right? They ain't going to have that love for you, regardless if you're a woman, you're a mother, you have children, right? The spirit is on them to execute judgment for our power. They're going to do it, man. All right, and there's many articles that's constantly coming out how women are being put to death, whether they're a mother or they're not a mother. All right, whether she's young or older. Women are receiving judgment. Women are being visited by our power, right? And our nation in general. All right, Israel, especially you women, okay? And there's another article right here.
A 63-year-old woman beaten to death at a bus stop, police say. Damn.
Hey, our power is no respect of person. Doesn't show favoritism, okay? All right.
A 63-year-old woman has died more than a week after suffering a deadly beating at a bus stop in Virginia, according to the Fairfax County Police Department. The incident occurred shortly after midnight on the morning of June 17th, when the police officers from the Fairfax County Police Department responded to a report from a passerby. What was that? Who discovered a 63-year-old woman in Alexandria, Virginia, suffering from trauma to her upper body at a bus stop on the 7,800 block of Richmond Highway, approximately 10 miles south of Washington, D.C.
All right, so the article we read before, it was a 20-year-old woman, single mother, got popped in the dome. This woman is a 63-year-old woman that got beaten up at a bus stop in broad daylight. All right, it had the time frame too, like the time, right?
No.
No? Oh, maybe it doesn't. Alright. Well, no, regardless if it was daytime or nighttime, but it shows that, you know, you women, doesn't matter. Huh?
Midnight.
At midnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so midnight, morning, yeah, so no, this shows that our power is no respect of person. YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI does not care if you're an older woman, a young woman, a young maid, if you're very beautiful, if you're an Instagram model. Our power does not give a shit. Okay. All right. So now that we read that, now we're gonna get some scriptures that's related to what we just read. Okay. So you can get that second Edges.
The second Edges 16 and 18.
18.
This is the book of Second Edges, chapter 16, verse 18. The beginnings of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
So we're literally in the beginnings of all those events, those prophetic events. All right, we're in the beginning. We're literally witnessing the beginning of sorrows. People are going through some tribulations. Okay, just because you don't see it on your block doesn't mean it's not happening to no one. All right. Because mind you, you got people that suffering all throughout planet Earth. Mind you, this is not just here for Babylon. Everyone is being visited. All right. We're also witnessing great mourning, but at the beginnings of it, right? We definitely in the beginning of the famine or shortages, right? And we're definitely in the beginning of great deaths. We're in the beginning of mass deaths, and the numbers are only going to increase as time goes on. And the beginning of wars. Yep, the beginning of wars. When you read in Matthew, it says what? That you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. We're constantly hearing wars and rumors of wars, so we're in the beginnings of it. All right. So now you get that Isaiah 45 and 7, and then right after you get that, you get Deuteronomy. So they go like hand in hand. They go really well together.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil.
Bad time.
I, the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, do all these things.
He does all these things, all of it. All right. And the precept the brother got, this is what he does also. Okay.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
So the article that the brother just read, right? The 20-year-old chick that got popped in the back of the head, right? Our power killed her. He executed judgment. Okay. That 63-year-old woman that got beaten at the bus stop. Our power did that because he does all these things. Okay. All right. Go ahead. And then you can get that Romans 2:11.
I wanted to get a precept for the half verse.
Okay.
Just about you.
So yeah, it's like the scripture says how it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, because he does all these things. He kills, he makes alive, he forms the light, he creates darkness, he creates peace and evil. Our power literally controls if you're going to get to breathe later on today or not. If you're going to be able to take your next breath right now, all right? He's going to decide if you get to live or not, all right? You got that?
Okay. There's Amos 3 and 6. So shall the trumpet be blown in a city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI have not done it.
So it stated, and the trumpet shall be blown, and they shall not be afraid. Right, just paraphrasing. You know, that's when you see the men, starting with our elders, Elder Tahar, and everyone on down, Elder Tahar, Elder Gabar, Elder Rama, Elder Paul, Bishop, the elders of Connecticut, our big brothers, other men that teach the same doctrine, right? We're all blowing that trumpet by doing these teachings, always and byways, doing sit-down lessons, pushing videos out, all right? But our nation, the 2/3 of our nation, are not afraid, all right? They're not afraid. The only one that's going to be afraid are the elect, the hopeful elect, you know, those of the 1/3. Okay, that's predestined for salvation. All right. You can get that Romans 2:11. Yeah.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 11. For there is no respect of person with YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI.
So our power, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI shows no favoritism. Okay, it doesn't care who you are. Okay, if you refuse to fear Him, to serve Him, all right, to serve YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, all right, you refuse to repent, you're going to be judged. Okay, plain and simple. All right. Let's see. Get that Ecclesiasticus. In this book, yeah, you get the Ecclesiasticus of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 28. And in this book, you know what? Chapter 39, verse 28, spirits create attention.
Yeah.
You're going to get that, and then in this book, you're going to have Psalms, chapter 78, verse 49. The evil angel one, you know, right?
Yeah.
So the Sirach.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach, chapter 39, or chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore stroke. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of Him that made them.
So the individuals that, you know, whoever shot the 20-year-old woman in the back of her head, whoever beaten that old woman at the bus stop, the spirits of vengeance was set on them, so they can appease the wrath of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, so they can execute judgment. Okay, even the demons, evil angels, evil spirits also worship our power YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Okay, they do, you know, they do, you know, judgment. We have different angels that would do. They all have like a different lot, different things, and we witnessed in the article how the evil, the spirits of vengeance, you know, they did what they were commanded to do. Okay, and then this is also to prove that in Psalms 78.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of His anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them.
Our power does all those things by sending evil angels among them. All right, our power sending evil angels among them, had that spirit of vengeance be put onto the individuals to execute judgment. Okay, whether to really to hurt someone, to wound them, or to kill them. Okay, the brother read it earlier, right? Isaiah, in Isaiah and Deuteronomy, how, you know, pretty much our power does all these things. Okay, he creates bad times, he kills, he wounds. All right, and that's what in that article, you know, it goes perfectly hand in hand with it. So, but the Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. You get in the King James version, and I'll read it in the NIV.
12. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
All right, so in the NIV it says, because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. All right, so we're in a time where wickedness is growing, right? It's growing at its peak, it's far surpassing, of the ancient times. Like for example, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah will be, today's, whole, the Rainbow Mafia, right? But it far past the way how they were doing stuff in the past decade, all right? So, and the list goes on of how wicked this place is. So because wickedness is increasing, sin is ramping, right? It's causing the love of many to grow more cold towards one another, okay? All right? And because of that, it's going to eventually lead to, a society, like a purge-like society, where it's literally no love at all. It's just no survival of the fittest, pretty much. All right? So, we got that one done already. Those presets, those articles. We're going to play a video. All right? It's a short little video. We got like 3 of them. Play it again, just in case you didn't see it.
Oh yeah.
You saw that? These devils are ready. They're ready. It's just in a matter of when all hell is literally going to break loose, and people start experiencing, these damn devils showing who they really are. Okay, see that Revelation 2 and 10.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall be and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
So let's say, for an example, right? Just throwing scenarios out there. The video you just saw, right? Let's say, you are the elect, and you're one of the 144,000 elect men, and you have to be put into that very location or any of these prisons, right? That's set up for Israelites, right? So-called Blacks, so-called Latinos, so-called Hispanic, so-called neighboring Indians, right? And you happen to be put into these Q camps, these FEMA camps, these prisons, right? You're going to experience a certain number of tribulation. Like it could be 10 days, it could be 5 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, we don't know, but it's just for a complete number of days where you're going to have tribulation, right? And it says, be faithful unto death, and I shall give you the crown of life, right? So, hey, if you have to be put to death to be a witness of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, hey, so be it. Because you know what? The crown of life is right there waiting for you. All right? So, if you have to be at these Q camps, hey, just always have in the back of your mind, like, hey, this could be it. Hey, I'm gonna be faithful to death so I can get that crown of life. Little woman. All right. We're gonna move on to the next article. The next video. So it's about how real soon that bag you keep chasing is gonna eventually crash. Okay, the money will be worthless. Yeah.
Good morning. So here's what's going to happen with the economic collapse. A lot of people ask, how's it going to work whenever they collapse the money system? So the money system's going to collapse. We know that. It's a fiat money system. They're never meant to last. They're meant to last about like 80 to 100 years tops. They're basically a glorified pyramid scheme. We all participated in that, but it started about 1913, blah, blah, blah. You guys can go look up the history yourself. So now that it's going to collapse, a lot of people are like, well, what's going to happen? We don't have any money. You know, many of us for many years have been saying, go ahead and prep, get food for a year, have some gold, have some silver, and you're going to have to ride it out. It's going to be shitty. Trust me, it's going to be shitty. So then after that, we're going to have a new money system. The government's going to come back with something like, and then, you know, this isn't the whole thing, but it's going to be like, okay, now, you know, all your money is digital. This is going to make it easier. Maybe you should have a chip. I don't know, whatever, but it's going to be digital. And they're going to say that we, you know, something like we are replacing the income tax. We don't have an income tax anymore. So everybody's going to be like, oh, that's great. We don't have to pay income tax. Yeah, but here's the caveat. They're going to have like a sales tax. Like, okay, anything you buy, we're going to take 13%.
So I heard that right. All right, so we want the scripture to speak for itself. You got that Ezekiel already?
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, YAHAWASHI Yahawashi. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity.
All right, I'm gonna get this in the NLT version, and then we're gonna get that Revelation one. All right. So it states here in the NLT version, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 19. They will throw their money in the streets, tossing it out like worthless trash. Their silver and gold won't save them on the day of Yahweh's anger. It will neither satisfy nor feed them, for their greed can only trick them up. All right, so we're coming into we're fastly approaching that time, actually, too. It's just a matter of when. We don't know when exactly, but we feel in this spirit that it could be, you know, any moment, all right, where we all going to be broke on planet Earth, right? We ain't gonna have the whatever amount of money you have in your bank account right now. Even if you got like a little safety box somewhere, a little, you know, jewelry box, whatever. Even that's not going to be able to deliver you from the wrath of our power. Even that's not going to be able to satisfy or feed your bowels, or food in your stomach. All right, and this is why. You got it.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 16
and 17.
And 17. Like, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man may buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
That's why it's very important to go into the certain word, all right? Because mark, right, in Greek, Strong's G5480, kalagma, it goes into, you know, pretty much, you know, is a badge of servitude. I think a badge of servitude, you know, with, you know, when you go into the word servitude, it goes into, you know, pretty much being like a slave, all right, being completely owned by someone who's more superior than you, all right? That charagma is that, you know, that R to the S, the I to the D, to the C to the H, I to the B, all right? It is that artificial, you know, grain of rice looking thing that has to be inserted anywhere in your body. You can get in your right hand, left hand, your shoulders, your shoulder blades, back of your head, top of your head. Doesn't matter where you get at in your body, right? I just gotta put that out there because you got smart motherfuckers out there like, oh well, Scripture says right hand and forehead, so maybe if I get in my left hand, you know, I'm not, I know, like, you know how simple Jake is, right? You know, people. So we gotta put that clear. You put that damn charagma anywhere in your body, inside your body, there's punishment for it. Okay, and it's in verse 17. It says, "Save he that had the mark." So you may be able to buy and sell from quite some time. You know, you may still be able to partake in Esau society, right? But the time is going to come where, you know, the nukes are going to hit your ass. Or, like it states in Revelation 16, chapter 16, verse 2, where it goes into like grievous sores, right? You're gonna be looking like zombies out here. You're gonna have like ulcers in your body to where like you're gonna be itching. You're gonna be trying to scratch. You're gonna be scratching yourself so hard that your flesh is gonna be falling off of you. Your skin's gonna be peeling. You're gonna have big ass open wounds, just popping them all over your body. You're gonna be in so much pain. All right, and then you know, nukes are going to hit this place, the lake of fire. All right, so even though you get that charisma and you think you're good, no, it doesn't. Okay, all right. That's pretty much it for that one. So, you know, hey, the money's going to crash at some point, and then the only way you're going to be able to still partake in Esau society, you got to get that corrupt. You got to be down with that thing, all right? Now we're going to show you what's going on in Ecuador, the tribe of Asher, okay?
Quiteños, ecuatorianos, apóyense. Sáquenle los pieles rápido.
All right, so you saw there, right? All right, so we're going to get some scriptures that's going to speak for itself.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 3 through 4. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
So because we're seeing these signs, right? We're seeing earthquakes and uproars of people in the world, right? You know, also when you go into earthquakes, it also goes into commotion, all right? Commotion, riots, chaos, right? And also, you know, like so-called natural disasters, okay? And we're seeing that, all right? And because we're seeing this, right, and we understand, what we well understand, that this is what our power, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, has spoken of. He's spoken of these things from the days before us, even from the beginning. But even before all of this happened, our power already told us in the past, you know, if we are of those, you know, very first spirits, okay? That's how we know, like, we're in those very times where, we're in that very time where our salvation is much nearer what we believe, because we're seeing that the great fall of Babylon, aka America, the age of wickedness fallen. And while that's fallen, the age of righteousness is being set up. All right. So right after Esau falls, like the first day of Esau, the end of the world, era, age, Jacob is the beginning that follows, you know, the age of righteousness, where it's going to forever be righteous, it's never going to fall. All right. Let me get that chapter 15. You can start at 15 instead.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, Slakia. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand.
So you can look at, you know, Civil War, race wars, also World War III, right? You have people that's rising up against one another, right? You have people fighting against one another. That's why it's going to go into that verse 16.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the courts of their actions shall stand in their power.
Saw that in the video, right? You know, tribe of Asher, right? The so-called Ecuadorians, right? You know, I'll get that. So you can see so, tribe of Asher. I'm not sure you can see here. Do you see a flag on here somewhere? If you're from one of these places, from your father's side, from your father's seed, right? You are tribe of Asher, from Colombia to
Uruguay.
Uruguay, if I'm pronouncing that correct, right?
Uruguay.
Uruguay. So if you see a flag here, you're from the tribe of Asher. All right. So there, everyone that's on this list are under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, okay, verse 15 on down. All right. The Jacob's trouble is for all of these people on here. All right. All of you here. Okay. That's why over there in Ecuador, they're going through what they're going through right now. Okay. All right. Because they're also Israelites. All right. What?
Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
All right. So the second lockdown. There's going to be so much chaos going on out there. You're going to have the military use the martial law to control people. Being able to go to the next, block down, the next city down, the next few blocks down, right? They're going to be controlling if, who gets to leave and who gets to come out, right?
Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid.
And you can see in that clip too, you see how, the cities are troubled. Right? Their town, their land, their place, their country is in trouble because of the uproars, chaos, tribulation, perilous times. Right? They're going through difficult times because their economy shut down. So everyone out there is broke pretty much. All right, and
this is verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation.
We're going to be doing all of this because of the famine and for great suffering, great sorrow. All right. So what you just saw there is it's just the beginning, like the brother read in 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 18. This is just the beginning. It begins with sorrows, right? It's just the beginning, great mourning. But soon, it's going to get very physical to the point where people, the people you saw on the video, the tribe of Asher, right? They're not going to be throwing rocks, right? No, they're going to find a way to have guns, spears, swords, handmade weapons, handmade explosives, and this is going to get violent, it's going to get bloody. Okay, all right. So, let's see, get that book of Mark, chapter 3.
24, 26.
I'm gonna get Matthew 12:25, but in the NLT version.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24 through 26. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand.
That's what you're seeing over there in Ecuador, and it's going to happen. Every nation is going to experience it. Every nation, Babylon, aka America, Canada, Mexico, fucking Madagascar, Germany, Russia, all these nations are going to experience the nation is going against itself, and because of that kingdom is going to fall. Because what you're having that uprising of people. You have that sedition among men, people that's rebelling against those who are in power. Okay.
Verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Verse 26. And if Satan rises up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end.
So we're actually seeing that here in Babylon, aka America. You got a lot of people that start to rise up against those who are in authority, those who have power, because these Edomites can no longer kill their babies. You even got men that's also part of that, of being against You got men that's also out there protesting with these wicked ass women, being butthurt that these women can no longer kill their babies. You got people rising up against of the wickedness that Esau even is doing. Okay, and that's causing a division here. It's only going to get worse from here on out, and that's going to eventually lead to a civil war. But it states here in the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, in the New Living Translation, NLT. Then Yahawashi said, no, Shalakia, wrong one. Okay, the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 25, okay, in the NLT version. Yahawashi knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. All right, Yahawashi knew their thoughts and replied, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. A town or family splintered by fueling will fall apart. Verse 26. And if Satan is casting out Satan, he is divided and fighting against himself. His own kingdom will not survive. And this kingdom, this current rulership, is not going to survive. Because this rulership, this kingdom is going to constantly keep fighting against itself, because the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is here on earth, because he's pouring his spirit upon his men, the prophets, to prophesy the downfall of this place. And that's why this place is crumbling. That's why everything that's going on planet Earth is happening, because Yahawah Yahawashi is pouring the QADASH, the Holy Spirit, onto the prophets that he's setting up to prophesy the downfall of this place, right? To prophesy the return of our head, our Lord and Savior, Yahawashi, okay? The fall of this current rulership and the uprising of the new rulership, which is the kingdom of heaven on earth. Righteousness, where the so-called black men, so-called Hispanic men, so-called Native American Indian men are going to be the next rulers, and they're going to be ruling forever, okay? All right. I'm going to get that Isaiah 19:2.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
So that sounds like a civil war. All right, Egyptians against Egyptians. You modern day Egyptians, you can say Americans, okay? Americans against the Americans. Hey, in the clip we just saw over in Ecuador, the so-called Ecuadorians versus the Ecuadorians, right? You're gonna have the nation of his own people going against each other, all right? And that's going to cause a civil war. That's going to cause a downfall of that rulership, that kingdom, okay? Because those who are in authority no longer have control of their people that's below them, okay? All right, so we're gonna give one more video and then we can close out. All right, again, our power does all of this. He does all of this, okay? Everything.
Tanzim, the brunettes. And finally, the hybrids. The Lord have truly blessed you all with tremendous talent. Trust me. And some of you have what I like to call civil dollar potential.
Yeah, see, because we're going to have it all. The days of Eve being out of order are almost up. The women of the 12 tribes of Israel are going to have new spirits and new bodies just like we will. And their minds will be changed in righteousness.
Isaiah 4. And in that day...
Yeah, so we're going to get the scriptures out. Speak for itself. All right.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach.
Clarification purpose. All right, read it again.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
So 7 women taking hold of 1 man, because a great number of men are going to die, right? To the point where, you know, it's going to be very few men left. And, you know, pretty much the only men that's going to be left in Babylon, aka America, is going to be the elect men, the men of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the so-called black men, the so-called Hispanic men, the so-called Native American Indian men. All right, there are the elect are going to be left behind. There's only going to be a complete number of women for each one. All right, and at that time, a lot of these women are going to go back to their right minds of wanting to be submissive. They're going to want to be ruled over. They're going to want to receive order, to be controlled, to be led, because all hell is breaking loose. And they're going to realize, like, damn, I really do need a man. They're not going to care if this man or if this brother who's of the elect has already multiple wives. She wants to be under a man to take away her reproach, to receive salvation, okay? Because when you go into reproach, right, it goes into, you know, someone who's resting upon a condition of shame or disgrace. So a lot of women are going to be feeling very disgraceful. They're going to be ashamed because they realize, like, damn, the whole time these men has really been keeping it real with us. All right, they actually had good intentions for us, but I didn't want to listen. Whatever, you know, whatever thought that comes to their mind when they come to realization. Scorn is a similar term, and it states the feeling or belief that someone or something is worthless or despicable. So a lot of women are going to feel that way. They're going to feel like they're worthless. They're going to feel despicable because of all of the wickedness that they've done. Okay, reality is going to kick in real soon to a lot of these women. And when you go into despicable, it pretty much means, like, being despicable is pretty much going into, like, you know, like you deserve hatred. You feel like you deserve to be hated. You deserve hatred. So a lot of women are going to feel that way, like, damn, no, I don't deserve to be saved. I don't deserve to be under this man's wing, because they're going to realize, like, damn, I fucked up. All right. Now I wish I can put it into the exact words, but you women are going to actually understand what all of the men that brings out Isaiah 4:1 really means when all hell break loose. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get that in the NLT version real quick. It says, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. So a complete number of women, at least 7 women, are going to, you know, pretty much put in that work. You know, put in that work to want to be your wife, because they see that, damn, I need a man, not just any man, one of the sons of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All right, and when it says fight each other, you know, they're pretty much going to be like competing. I remember one of the brothers had, like, one of the brothers mentioned how, like, a lot of these women are going to be interviewed. You bitches are going to be interviewed to see if you're worthy enough to be a wife, one of the wives of one of the sons of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, 144,000 black men. All right, and the only way you can be saved is what a lot of you women are fighting against. A lot of you women want to kill your child. You're upset that, you know, you can no longer abort your child. Well, guess what, you stupid bitch? The only way you can be saved through childbearing. In the book of 1 Timothy 2:15 says that she shall be saved in childbearing if she continues in the faith. So not only you gotta be used to help the nation be rebuilt, right? But that's if you're gonna continue being in the faith. If you can go ahead and try to be smart and be like, you know what? if I can just lay down with this elect man and get his seed and then leave him, then I'm good because I'm a bear his child. No, bitch. That's if you continue in the faith. You got to keep serving your head. Okay? You got something? Come on, you get that. And then we'll close out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
So the elect men they are the true high value men. It may not look like it now, but when all hell break loose, you women are going to see like, damn, these are the true high value men, because your salvation depends on them. All right, they're going to be able to protect you, provide shelter, food, water, the things you need, your daily bread. Okay. Another one. 30 was 32 and 2 or 30. Yeah, get that one.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12. And it reads, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
So the elect men are going to be made more precious than fine gold. Right? And we don't know exactly how these elect men are going to look like soon once that great separation is manifested to the world. You can literally see with no doubt, like, yeah, these are the very men that YAHAWASHI is dealing with. But women are going to see that, you know, these men are they're more precious than fine gold. Okay?
Real quick. For precious, it says over here, like a similar word, it says rare.
Rare, yep.
Rarer than fine gold.
Yep, much more rare than fine gold. All right, we're gonna get two more from here, then we can close out. Yeah, brother, we got that already. You want to have that First Timothy one, yeah, and there was one with the virgins mourning, not having no help. We want to get that one first. There it goes. It's all here somewhere. I didn't realize how many precepts there were on the stone. Okay, so I think we want to make sure I get the. Okay, so. Hey, by the way, Shalom, you can get that one. And then the following precept, 34.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegroom. The woman shall mourn, having no husband. Their daughter shall mourn, having no helpers.
And we're going to get 34.
Verse 34. And the wars shall their bridegroom be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine.
So a lot of women are about to be headless, right? They're about to lose their husband. They're not going to have a man because a great number of men are going to die. Right? Let's not forget, you know, the whole upcoming draft. A lot of men are going to be drafted for World War III, which is biblical. You know, it says both Second World War past, Third World War complete, World War III. All right, so a lot of men are going to die during the famine. They're going to die during the sword and the destruction that draweth nigh. Right? You know, a lot of men are just going to die in general, and that's going to cause a lot of women to mourn, to weep, because they don't have a head, affection, a man to lead them. All right, they're just going to be catching pure hell because you are headless, okay? And you're going to desire to literally look for a man of the Lord. All right, and there was another one of the brothers, but we can close with that one. That was that First Timothy one. Here we go. Okay.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
Wait again.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in the faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
If they continue, all right. Because you got a lot of women that's so drunk off of Esau, Edom, so-called white man philosophy that, you can be an independent crown woman. You don't need a husband. You can be successful here in Babylon, aka America, bitter ass place, right? But when all hell break loose, right, that American dream ain't gonna mean shit. All right. A lot of you women who believe in like all that, like, you know, you don't have to have a child. You can be childless. You can just keep committing adultery and get pregnant every week. Keep killing your kid and get away with it, like, and think like nothing's gonna happen now. All right, that should. A lot of you women are being visited as we speak, and that number's only going to increase. And the only way you can be saved is to help these elect men rebuild our nation, because so many of our people are going to die. We're going to need multiple wives, so you women can, you know, take our seed and bring forth fruit. All right, you will be saved in childbirth if you continue to serve your head. All right. So hey, the Lord willing, it was edifying.
Lord willing.
THAWADAH, you know, YAHAWAH, with the presets. All right.
Wow.
We're gonna close out by giving a much due, all praises, honor, and glory to
YAHAWAH
BAHASHAM
YAHAWASHI
BAHASHAM QADASH. Double honors to our apostles and elders and bishops of GMS. Much due respect to the sincere Akim who are laboring the work. Shalom. To you believers, and Akim YAHAWAH, which will be brothers and sisters, who are proud to the truth. As always,
DTA, above the ball soon.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.